You want to be in a home by the end of this year? Well, listen up. This video is just for you. We want you in a home for New Year's as opposed to sitting on the sidelines as a renter. So we're going to show you how. If you're new to this channel, I'm Brad, the mortgage guy. I've been doing this for 26 years, been helping families for 26 years purchase homes. That means for you that this isn't just theory. We're doing it every single day. And my team and I, we are licensed in all 50 states. So no matter where you are, all 50 states plus DC, we can help you out there. We're going to be able to help you out. So hit us up, hit subscribe, please hit that subscribe button now. That helps us out. Also, you'll get fed some of these other videos. If you're looking to buy a house, there's going to be a lot more information that's going to come your way too through future videos as well. So anyways, let's talk about it. You want to buy a house by the end of the year? Here we go. First thing you need to do is you're going to have to sit down. You're going to have to do a budget. If you're buying a house as a single individual, great. Sit down by yourself and do that budget. But if you're buying a house with somebody else, sit down together and actually go over a budget. There's going to be two main things you need to determine in this budget. The first main thing is going to be how much can we afford each and every month, right? That seems pretty logical. How much can I afford to make in terms of a payment each and every month? That's number one. You need to sit down and figure out what what that number is going to be, because more important than what a computer system approves you at, what's more important is what you are comfortable paying. So budget, super, super, super important. Number two is how much money do you have cash out of pocket in order to purchase a home? That number, don't be discouraged if that number is low. If that number is low, there are programs nationwide. There are programs, some state specific, some national programs that are available for you, for qualified individuals, obviously, but that are available for most people out there that are going to allow you to get some money for down payment and possibly even some closing costs. So if that savings number isn't quite there, don't feel like that you're sunk, but do that number either way. Also, even if you've got a lot of money, we're still looking at those programs, because when you buy a house, I'd love you to have extra money for the move, for the new paint, for the new flooring. You get in there, you find there's a leaky toilet. You want to fix that stuff. You want to have some money. You want to have a rainy day fund. And so if we can keep as much money in your pocket as possible by utilizing some of those programs, even if they're not necessary to purchase a house, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that either way. All right. So budget, super, super important. Payment and cash out of pocket, figure out what those numbers are for you. And then we go from there. Now, the next process is to reach out to us. Again, licensed in all 50 states. We're going to do a pre-approval. Real simple. Just text me, right? Easy enough. Text me. I'll shoot you over our mobile app, our link to either our mobile app or our online application. We can hop on the phone even before I send that to you. If you've got just some general questions, we do that all the time. We hop on the phone, spend maybe 5-10 minutes, answer some general questions. You go fill out your information. Once that comes in, my team is going to reach out to grab a couple of things paperwork-wise. Generally speaking, we're looking for most recent pay stub. And if you've got any type of variable type income like commission, overtime, bonuses, anything like that, your last payment from the very last pay date of last year and potentially the year before is also really helpful to have on hand. So if you want to get those ahead of time, if you've got any of those types of income that are variable, that's great. If you're just strictly salaried, no problem. Usually the most recent pay stub will do in terms of documentation. But either way, the best thing to do is hop on the phone first. We have a real quick conversation. We'll determine exactly what documentation you're going to need. We'll send you those links. You're going to fill out an application. Now, the application, at least for us, this is not across the board, is going to be a soft credit pull. So you're not even going to have an inquiry show up on your credit. So there is no harm in trying here, folks. Even if you think your credit's not where it needs to be, you should try no matter what. One way or the other, we're going to get you there, even if you're not ready today. But let's just assume that's not a concern of yours. Hopefully not. But you're going to fill out that application. It's going to do a soft credit pull. You still don't have to worry about that bringing your credit score down at all. Once you've done there and gotten us those pay stubs, we're going to hop back on the phone. And at that point, we're going to have a pre-approval consultation where we're going to go over what I consider the three most important numbers. These three numbers are what you need to start the home buying process. If you've been pre-approved before and you don't have all three of these numbers, you should not be out there looking for a house. I can't tell you how often it is that people are out there and have no idea of these three numbers. So I'm going to go over them. Number one is, we talked about before in your budget, what is the monthly payment going to be on this house? How much money do you need out of pocket yourself, right? Can I afford the house? Do I have enough money to buy the house? And then number three important numbers, as I said. Number three is what price point should you be looking at when you're out there shopping for a home? So those three important numbers, if you don't have them, you're not ready to buy a house. You need those numbers, and we're going to do that on your pre-approval consultation. Now, I have a lot of people, they call me, they've been pre-approved somewhere else, and they say, hey, Brad, I've been pre-approved for $450,000. I go, great, that's fantastic. Did they let you know how much money you're going to need out of pocket? And they go, well, no, they didn't tell me. They said about, 3% down. I go, okay, well, did they talk about closing costs? They're like, nah, I don't know anything about that, or taxes or insurance or anything. No, they don't know anything about that. And oh, by the way, what was that payment? They go, I have no idea. So I start going over, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be shopping for a $450,000 house. I'm comfortable at a $375,000 house. And we regroup and we send them off to find the house that's going to be comfortable for them. So three important numbers there in that pre-approval conversation. If you don't have them, you shouldn't be looking for a house. Once you've got them, though, you can get out there confidently and start shopping. So next thing is we're going to get your file a fully underwritten file, especially in sellers markets. It's super important for a buyer to look as strong as possible. You want to stand out. So we are going to get you full on loan commitment, upfront, fully underwritten file that basically says, all I need is a house. This is one step, not even one step. This is 10 steps past a pre-approval. Okay. What it's doing is it's saying to a seller that I have done 499 pieces of a 500-piece puzzle, and I am ready to close. Just give me your house. I'm going to get an appraisal, and we're going to be off to closing. This approval, we call it a power bid approval, which I think is a silly name. It makes me feel like I'm a superhero and I should be wearing a cape or something, like power bid. But that's what we call it. That's all right. It's a silly name, but not a silly program. It helps you compete with cash. So we're going to get you your pre-approval, and you're ready with that pre-approval to go shopping for a house. That's what most people are doing. But we always take that next step either way to put you even in a stronger position to make your offers and get your offers accepted. But even just with the pre-approval, you can still put in an offer. Now, the next thing we're going to do after you're pre-approved, we're going to get you connected with a realtor. So we can help with this. We connect personalities. We try to connect you with somebody we feel is going to suit you well. You may already have a realtor. That's fine too. But if you don't, or it's somebody that you just happen to know loosely, it wasn't a referral or anything like that, that might be something where you want to get a referral from us. First, you want somebody who's experienced, not somebody who's just a social media star. I was at a conference actually recently, and they basically were saying that the more visible you are, the more trustworthy you are on social media. And it was funny because I started to pay attention to some of the people who were really visible in some of the markets, in some specific real estate markets. And I started to look up the production, and I go, well, that person doesn't really do a lot of business, but they do a lot of real estate videos. So experience does not mean just social media videos and that they do really cool videos. They may be both. And in fact, a lot of great agents also have great social media presence as well. But that's not the only piece to it. They actually have to be doing some business. They should do some business. They should have some local knowledge. And really, really important here, it should be somebody that you trust. So you're going to interview these agents, whether I refer them to you or not. You're going to interview these people, and you've got to make sure you trust this person. Now, if you don't trust this person and they're a good agent, they're probably not going to want to work with you anyways, because if you're not listening to them and they're a good agent, you're missing out on houses that you could have gotten if you listened to them, right? So you need to find somebody you trust, and you're willing to let them guide you through this process. If you don't trust the person, it's not a good relationship for you or them, okay? So you're going to connect with a real estate agent. That real estate agent should know your needs. I recently just had a buyer purchase 2 houses before he found the right one, both within a 6-month period. Why? Because the first agent he worked with, he was advised not to, the first agent he worked with did not sit there to understand what his and his wife's needs were. That agent just looked and said, oh, I would really like this house. You should probably like this house. An agent should be shopping for a house for you, not for them, okay? Now, 6 months later, they called me, go, I don't like living in a neighborhood. This is terrible. I hate it. My neighbors, they're too close. I want to be out in the woods. Guess what? they got connected with an agent who really understood their wants and their needs. And sure enough, they bought this next house. It was phenomenal for them. It was the house for them that I wish they had gotten 6 months prior. But anyways, the right agent is really, really important, and you have to trust them. Now, once you've gotten the pre-approval, we're going to do that power bid approval. We walked through the 3 important numbers. You found yourself a realtor. We're now starting to shop, and you're not going to rely on Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, all those crazy websites out there. You are going to get on a search with that agent, and they're going to feed you the houses that fit your criteria directly. They're going to get you on a direct search. For that, you get off of those consumer sites, get onto that search with that agent. You're going to utilize open houses, but you're also going to communicate everything to your agent. Hey, there's an open house on this property on Saturday, and you see it, and your agent goes, no, hey, this is a hot one. We got to get you in there on Thursday. You can't wait till Saturday. Listen to your agent. Again, if you trust them, you're going to listen to them, and they're going to get you out there. So communication with your agent is important, but open houses are important tool too to go see places. You want to drive by places too. Go ahead, go drive by in the middle of the night and see if there's a fire station that's a quarter mile down the road that every night at midnight the alarm goes off, a test or so. I don't know, but sometimes driving by that property I think is a great idea even before you go to see the place. So you're going to start shopping either way, and you're going to trust your agent. They're going to tell you all this stuff. Don't even listen to me. Go listen to them. Again, we are getting pre-approved. We are getting our power bid approved, connected with an agent. We're going to start that shopping. Now, there are some regional differences here. If you're in a seller's market, like for instance, the Northeast, right? You got to act fast. There's limited inventory. You got to have contingency-free offers. That might be another language to you right now, but we're going to walk you through what all that stuff means. In a buyer's market, you still have to act fast, but the strategies on your offers differ a little bit. Again, this is all part of trusting your agent. They're going to walk you through that depending on what market you're in. Seller's market, buyer's market, balanced market. There are different strategies for each, and that's beyond the extent which we're going to go through in this video. But your agent's going to help educate you on that to give you the best possible chance of getting yourself a home. Now, next thing is we want to talk about timelines. How long does all this stuff take? Well, that budget could be as quickly as you want it to take. I think it should take you a couple days to maybe a week at most, where you're going through your finances. Again, if you're buying alone, great, you're doing that alone. But if you're with somebody else, sit down. You really want to understand that budget together. We could even give you a first-time homebuyer class if you'd like ahead of time, even before you go and do this, that you could go take an online course so you can kind of understand that budgeting process a little bit better as well. That might take yourself about a week. So we're about a week in here. We're trying to buy a house by the end of the year. Remember, pre-approval, pretty quick. We connect usually within 24 to 48 hours. You've got yourself that pre-approval and you're ready to go shopping for that house. Now, we're going to do the fully underwritten file, but we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop there. That's going to happen in the background. We're going to connect you to an agent right away. So we're about a week, maybe a week and a half into this. We've got our pre-approval and we're connecting you with the agent, and you're going to do an interview and you're going to make sure that this agent's right for you. That might take you another week. So now we're about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks into this transaction. Once you've selected that realtor, let's call it a month, just to round it up there. We're at about a month. Now, right now, as I'm recording this, we are end of September, beginning of October. So now we're coming into beginning of November, right? So we are out there. We're now on a search with the realtor, as we talked about, and we're out there searching for a house. Now, the average time it takes probably about 30 to 45 days to find a home. Now, when you're shopping, that could depend on the market. Like if you've got a market with a lot of inventory, you might sign something fast. In fact, a lot of people, if they find the right agent they trust that agent, and the right home pops on, that agent is seeing it immediately, getting in there. I get a lot of people who are literally under contract within a week, but average probably about 30 to 45 days, longer in some markets, shorter in other markets, depending on what type of market and what you have for inventory. So again, lean on that realtor for that stuff. So it might take you a month or so to find that house. Now, closing, once you get a house under contract, there's going to be inspections, there's going to be appraisals, you're going to wrap up any remaining conditions. Closings in seller markets are usually less than 30 days. Like 30 days is giving us a lot of time for that. So around 30, sometimes or a little bit less in seller's market. In a buyer's market, it's usually a little longer, maybe about 40, 45 days or so is the typical closing time. But typical is only the typical, right? That does not mean it's always that way. I have plenty of contracts that come together in both of those markets that are 60 days and above. But if you're trying to buy by the end of this year and we're talking, hey, this is beginning of October or so, well, you're going through that budgeting. You're going through the pre-approval. You're connecting and interviewing realtors. We're now into the mid to end of October. We're finding a house within hopefully 30 days. We're closing within 30 days. That's putting us in a home before Christmas, right? You want to buy a home by the end of the year? That's how you're going to do it. Call me. Brad Salerno, the mortgage guy. We're going to get together a personalized pre-approval strategy for you. We're going to get you connected with or connect with your existing realtor to help put you in the best place possible. Let's get you in a house before the end of the year. That's all we got, folks. Hit me up, please. Again, subscribe here to this channel. Comment with any questions you've got. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll talk to you soon. Congrats on this video. Is your first step to getting into that new home for the new year. We're going to help you get there. We'll talk to you soon.